guys. It's been a long while for AthenaX. Right now we have a live stream, and I'm really excited to have our first guest here, Thiru. I'm really welcome to have you here, and you landed back in India right now from Argentina, right? How are you right now? And could you give me 3 words? What was your experience?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, Ray. And hi, everyone. And 3 words to describe the whole trip. Yeah, so it start with like indifference, support,
Yeah.
and inclusivity.
Right, so indifference is the feeling when I think that was pretty harsh, yeah. And then the support from the community, that was really positive. I like that. Could you explain more about the inclusivity?
So it showed that like the indifference movement it just started from like secluding certain region or like certain places, and that is like opposite of like what happened, and it provided like support from like everyone, like support from the local communities, local people, and as well as even like non-crypto people. There's just like that makes sense, like that provides like I'm inclusive here and then I'm welcomed here, and the support showed by the Ethereum Foundation, Ethereum communities, and all the projects over there. And it is like you're included over here irrespective of where you're from, who are you, and irrespective of all the factors that would like discriminate on any basis.
Right. So that's definitely super positive, your reaction, the whole community. We're definitely going to touch back on that. First, I do want to talk about you as a person, right? Like before all this, how did you get into Web3?
So I was started as a Web2 full stack developer. I stumbled upon hackathons, and in one hackathon there was a track for blockchain, and then I didn't actually choose that. We were building on some AI ML projects, and on this next hackathon, like let's try it. Just because it have like bunch of opportunities and just wanna give it a shot. And we went to as a team, went to one of the hackathon as a university team, and we failed like crazy for the first hackathon because we were not prepared at all. We can build a full stack application in a Web2, but we didn't know like how to build smart contracts on Solidity or even like deploying anything. And that hackathon showed us the opportunity provided by this if like Web3 ecosystem and how much it is differ from Web2. The opportunities in a sense, the pay scale, like the hackathon bounties, like the first Web2 hackathon we went, the whole bounties covered up into like 2K. And here 2K is the least bounty you can get for like third place or fourth place. And the entire bounty package would be around like 50K, sometimes even 100K or even more. So it gave me a harsh reality of like I'm not focusing on the right area. I should have been focused on Web3 and then learning the skills that required to build decentralized applications. So that gave me a like kind of harsh slap, and I started focusing on learning those specific skills, especially like focusing on building smart contracts. And the next hackathon, we went to this Darknet hackathon happened in Bangalore, which is very close to like, where I live in Chennai. And that's our first win, and it also like helped me as a person to build like networking skills. Initially I was like not very valuable as a team member, but like the value that I bring in is like networking. I have no fear in talking to people, and I brought in a team member who helped us to win, and he's actually from Japan. I went up to him, talked to him, convinced him to join our team, and we built a game. And he also like acted as a mentor. When that time he was really into hackathon, he won like multiple hackathons, so he have like more experience. He shared those experience with us, and which helped us to win the other hackathons. So I can able to like talk to anyone in that period because I had like no fear, because I wanted to get into this. And then I watched a lot of videos, and then reached out to a lot of people. They all suggested one thing, which is build your personal brand as well and do networking that will help you. I was not exactly know how it will help, but I just started doing it, and it provided a lot of opportunities for me.
Right, definitely. So initially it was the strike from, oh, I need to switch from Web2 to Web3 because that's where I should develop more of my skills with. And then you learn about, you take into the advice where building the personal brand and then do more connection and networking and help you to, and then plus on top of that, I think we talked about it before as well, to learn the skills, to learn how to actually building Web3 and then to start winning the hackathons and the whole winning strikes. And that was amazing. Speaking about the connection, passion and everything, the hard grind. We had a chat before as well. You said there was a time for you that was really rough. There was before university, and there was the gap year, the entrance exam situation, and then there was a lot of isolation feeling, the peer pressure. Could you share that with us here again?
Yeah. So first things first, taking a gap year is not at all a thing in India. I mean, no one heard
Yeah,
about it, and then no
yeah,
one do it.
crazy.
If you take a gap year, that's crazy. That means you're really crazy. So it is for a particular entrance exam. I couldn't crack it for the first attempt, so I thought like I gonna take a gap year, focus on this exam, and crack it. I still couldn't, and I had to go to other university. So this entrance exam is called joint entrance exam. This is for India's top university. I wanted to study aerospace engineering. That courses are only available
Mhm.
in those top universities. So I couldn't go into that field. So my next bet is computer science engineering. So I just went into the first, like the nearest college I can find, which is like 3 kilometers from my home. So I just joined it. And then
Okay.
coming from a gap
Yeah, what
year, it is
happened?
much different for me than anyone else. So I mean, I apart from me, there's no one had a gap year. So they are joining from high school, just graduated high school, and then they are in college in the first year. Well, no one had that pressure that I had, and then it's really hard to convey. And I had a really hard time getting along with people. I try to like take as much as opportunities possible or create opportunities for me in like in any smaller way, trying to take initiatives for events or
Mhm.
applying to any other events. So those events also like provided me confidence through like small wins. So it could be like a some uni event I win or like a inter uni competition I win. So these small wins helped me when I wanted to start hackathon. I know like hackathon exists even before joining college, but I don't had the confidence. I was like, how could I win
Oh yeah,
hackathon? Because like that sounded like something
yeah.
terrific. Only like god tier programmers can only win. I just had those in my mind, and when I had the small wins,
Yeah.
it provided me confidence, and then I can able to like approach hackathons in more systematic ways rather than just from a outsider perspective. I just have to do this to win, and it provided me those confidence to even enter the venue, and it helped me also like form a team, because not everyone we study or
Mhm.
everyone in our class or in our year need to have the same passion as us. So I had this thing, the university competition going on, which helped me to connect with the seniors who are actually know stuff. So I mostly hang
Yeah.
out with seniors. I even like go sit in their class, attend their class, or just hang out with them all the time, get advices. That helped me also
Yeah.
place in their team and earn their trust as well. And this senior junior team that won more than a lot of hackathons, and it's like I totally
Mhm.
don't have the count for that. And this is the type of things that helped me, like reaching out to senior, reaching out to anyone through like LinkedIn, like reach out and then ask for a lot of advices to a specific thing. If someone is working on DeFi, ask like I'm a beginner, I have like no idea DeFi, how should I approach it? Because back then when I started, there's like no like Gryphon updraft, there's like no systematic learning patterns for like Web3. There's like no particular resources. They were resources, but very few, very limited. I had to like reach out to a
Mhm.
lot of people to get advices, and it
Yeah.
eventually launched me into like internships, time roles, full-time roles, so on and so forth. So this is like a very different for me than anyone else had, because coming from a gap year, it is like I already wasted a year, and it also like comes with like this survival mentality. So I couldn't able to take college as a fun thing. So everyone wanted to lay back. That also affected me in like socialization. I couldn't socialize very easily. Usually had this pressure, have to like
Mhm.
have to do something, I have to do something. So it's like time is running out. At the end of the first year, I
Yeah.
had like
That's
I
like
had
an
like one
invisible
friend.
pressure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Even like it's not like well spoken from like parents' side or a friend's side, but it will be there.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to like socialize. And after I'm doing certain things like winning hackathons or doing internships, it kind of brought in the like social circle for me. But it took me a lot to find those people. But when I improve myself, put me in a certain place, certain position, that like brought up
Mhm.
the right people into my social circle, and now I have like really good friends, and who also in a similar hustle, and where I can like share things without like worrying about what they will think, or like they will get jealous of me. So it's like a really good circle. I can like talk openly about like my pay scale, or like whatever I win, my even like profits, or everything I can able to share.
Yeah, you know what? Like honestly, I know that that's the invisible layer from oh, I took 1 year off. I feel like I need to do something. I wasted 1 year, but that's like a lot of people. Like even the 20 something people are more feel like they need to do something than if I talk to friends that are 30 something, they're like, oh, like you're gonna learn, you take your time to learn the patience and then learn that actually maybe that gap year is the best thing happened to you, possibly that you found your
Yeah.
people, that you really learn how to build your confidence, right? And then, okay, it was really rough year. I didn't have any friends and all the pressure, but like you went through with it. I'm really glad to that you shared that with the audience. And one thing that I really catch on to, um, basically to find the supportive people, the high performing individual, to find your community, to talk to people that's ahead of you or the seniors, to learn from them, to ask for advice. That was something really impressive. And thank you for sharing that. And when we had a chat before, we both agreed on you're the average of your closest 5 to 6 people. So how did you find those people? So you just reach out to them? What was the whole, give me a short version of how did you find your people?
So yeah, I did reach out. I do reach out in a bulk manner, like a cold DMs, as well as through networking events and conferences and hackathons. But
Yeah,
still, retaining them is
yeah.
matters the most. You could like reach out to like 100 people, but retaining them, it's done
Okay.
to like meeting them again through other event, and then when you meet again, if you are in the same level as they
Hmm.
met you earlier, there's like no change in your own personal value. But if I improve on the second attempt or second
Yeah.
meeting or second interaction, it creates a good impression of me in them. And like I can also provide some value for them. Just that value doesn't have to be monetary or either skill based. It just have to like through a good conversation or a valuable insight provided over what they are working on or their project or anything. So if I can able to create a value and create a good impression, it kind of creates a good social circle. And for every time we meet, and at some point, it doesn't have to be like 10 meetings or something. It even have to like just second or third meetings.
Hmm.
There'll be something click between individuals, and like it's kind of like a friendship bonded over there. So something like a shared responses, or like a shared project, or even like opinion on certain matter that matches both
Right.
individuals. And it all matters on how
Right. That's
we
interesting.
improve our self value. And this value, when we improve it, and then we
Yeah.
attract the people who are also in the same hustle, and then it also comes with like the mutual respect between the individuals.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Outreach, but then the thing is like, what do you bring? Like, what's your value? And then to maintain, like, you kind of like both sharing values for each other, and then you form
Yeah,
your people in some sense, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Another thing is like finding your people. We definitely talked a lot about that. Another thing I didn't mention, but I do want to know is that you said you retired your parents at 22, right?
Actually,
That
21.
was also something I remember with 21. Okay, okay. Okay, you retired both your parents at 21. What was
Yeah.
the walk me through, like how'd you make that possible? Like what happened?
So it all like I started even doing the internships and everything. That was my goal, to retire my parents before college.
Yeah.
But uh, the career progression
Oh,
went
okay.
much better than I thought. I was able to like provide for my family. I paid my whole college fees all by myself. So things went very well for me, and I wanted to like do this for a
Hmm.
really long time, and I took the shot. And it was like really scary. I was like actually living like
Yeah.
paycheck to paycheck, and it was a bit
Yeah.
scary, but things worked very well for me after that, because like whenever like I take a really hard decision, which challenge my skills, challenges my current mentality, I kind of like able to
Hmm.
outgrow it. And it also happens in a very
Mm.
fast way, rapid growth, just because I forced myself to do something, and
Okay.
it helped me. And that's also like
Okay.
a really hard decision for me, because uh, when I do that,
Hmm.
I don't have any like playability, in a sense. I don't have any other way, or like if I want to like quit my current job, or like take a few months gap, I can't actually do that because I have like these responsibilities in my
Right.
hand. I have to like make sure I make both ends meet. But like these all the things actually
Hmm.
help me, and I like working in pressure, so it's kind of like a pressure I added to myself.
Yeah. I know, like I feel like whenever you face a difficulty, you either grow or you go
Yeah,
down. But
yeah.
then you just have to, it kind of helps you to push to go. Especially you're coming from, like talking about the journey is coming from India, and then I remember when we had a chat, we also had a chat about all the visa thing, all the travel, the possibilities. So I really want to know what's the real situation for the Web3 builders and the developers in India now. Like, what is the crypto situation in India?
Actually, we have a thriving developer community. We have one of the best developer
Yeah.
communities across the world because we have like a lot of regional clubs and communities. I also
Hmm.
contributed a lot to a regional club called TPG, the Phoenix Guild, and it have like many communities within different regions, and was contributing to mostly in Chennai region where I
Hmm.
live. So this is basically for educating
Right.
people or developers about Web3. And similarly, there were like a multiple communities, so there's a thriving Web3 community, and a lot of hackathons, and a lot of people participate and win in hackathons.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are actually
Right.
like participate in online hackathons, and ETH India happens every year in December, and there were a few hackathons now and then. But if you want to like apply for ETH Global that happens say in France or in Japan or anywhere, it will be like very difficult for students to go because of the visa issue.
Yeah.
Especially it requires like bunch of documentations, and that would be like really hard. And
Yeah.
even with the documentation submitted, the visa approval is not guaranteed. Even for myself, I was rejected for Istanbul visa, as well as I was rejected for Brussels visa for
Yeah.
East Brussels. So it's difficult, and
Yeah.
especially coming from a low economical background, and it will be like a nightmare whenever applying for a visa.
I know
Yeah,
you said that you wasted like what, like 4 months of salary on the
exactly.
visa, and then there
Yeah.
was no. I mean, it is quite rough. It is quite rough, but at least the communities, like I think there's a lot of brilliant developers in India. But then I want to know what's the scope with the India developers who actually have real skills to build in Web3, like build for all the protocols and ecosystem. What's the scope actually?
The scope is really big. I just met like a lot of Indians working in Ethereum Foundation, working in Uniswap Foundation, working
Mm.
in Solana. I can't like name a protocol that I mean like most protocols have like mostly Indian developers. Like I see like a
Right.
lot of Indian developers in like mini protocols, which shows like it provided a lot of opportunities, as well as a lot of Indian developers have the skills to have them. And there's like a lot of very good projects coming out of India as well. For example, Polygon is one of the early projects from India, and Avail. So there are like really good projects also coming out of India, and a lot of cool contributors of like DeFi protocols, security audit companies, as well as like a lot of smart contract of like developers are coming from India as well. So the development scope is really huge, even though we don't have any adoption in a, like a user to user basis, or like adoption from, or like regulation from the government. Still, uh, one of the thriving developer communities across the world.
Right. So then, speaking of like specific skills, and I know something is really trendy right now, the X402. It's the new tech coming out. And for anyone who's watching right now doesn't know what is X402, what is it? And then why should developers care about it?
So X402 is a protocol built on top of the 402 status code that is available on HTTP, which has been dormant for years, and it is currently built as
Yeah.
this payment protocol for agents to make payments, micro payments for very certain data from APIs, and the payment is paid through
Hmm.
stable coins, especially like USDC, and This helps agents to
Mm,
have any data that is required for specific functions, and it can get it through without any human intervention. So that's how the X402 works to the facilitator settling the payments for them, and using there's a particular ERC 3009 if I'm
okay.
not wrong. So it is using that we can able to have a specific function within the ERC which allows you to sign a transaction without actually sending the tokens, and it also removes the approval function. The approval function is usually used for any ERCs to provide authorization to use your tokens, but using this particular ERC you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
provide the approval. You can sign the transaction and the
Mm-hmm.
facilitator can settle it later. So this enables the agents to go
Right.
autonomous without any human intervention. And we are also building something very cool
Yeah.
for X402 builders. It's called GM Payer. It's a multiple
Yeah.
network settling payment layer for X402. Check it out, guys. GM Payer.
I know, yeah, I know Metis is definitely building something with X402 as well. Speaking about that, as the DevRel of Metis, right? What you guys doing with the current situation to build the project, and then um, you as a DevRel, what's your job right now to work for Metis?
So first thing, we are building very much focused on Laz AI. So Laz AI is also a layer 2 that is settling on Metis. And with Laz AI, we are providing the complete architecture as well as infra for building AI agents, and using a specific ERC
Mm-hmm.
which is in draft and waiting for approval. It's called ERC 8028, a data anchoring tokens. Anyone can able to
Right.
contribute to data, and whenever this data is being used for inference, the contributor will get a reward,
Mm-hmm.
and this data is anchored on chain in an encrypted manner, so it's not transparent, and it will be
Mm-hmm.
decrypted only in a TEE, so the data privacy will be managed as well. And here you can able to use the specific data through the X4 or to product through an agent. If an agent requires specific data for doing any inference, it can able to call this data and use this data and able to pay for it as well. It can be done in an autonomous way without any human intervention, and it can also settle on multiple chains. And it can
Right.
also on like a Bitcoin
Yeah.
layer. We have a goat network. We can actually settle on Metis. So it provides a multiple network settlement layer for X402.
Right, I see. And also, I remember I had a chat with Laz AI before as well, and you guys are really big on the privacy side as well. What you guys building on the privacy side, and anything working
Yeah.
on towards that
So
side?
exactly. So the privacy is nothing but the data that we host on chain or anchor on chain using the data anchoring tokens.
Yeah.
It is anchored
Yeah.
encryptedly. So how it changes from the
Okay.
existing public data is the public data is available transparent, and any agent or anything can able to crawl through the web and then use those data to train their model. Whenever the data is contributed through DAT, the data will be encrypted, and it can be decrypted only within a TEE, and it ensures the data privacy. So the data contributor don't have to worry about the data being transparent or used for inference without like providing a reward. So the Laz AI ensures the data privacy, and it is done through the inference server provided by the Laz AI infra.
I see. Thank you for sharing what you guys been building on. And as a DevRel, right, I wonder, how do you onboard developers to build for the projects? How do you let them to explore and build and strive?
Yeah. So it all starts with highlighting the tech. For example, what changes Laz AI from any other layer 2 that exists is the tech that we provide with DETs, with the inference server, with the data privacy. You can able to contribute your data and all this, and along with the reward distribution in a deterministic way. As a DevRel, my job is highlighting the tech and providing a proper documentation along with the use cases, with tutorials, having like hands-on workshops, which helps them to like understand. If they have any questions, they can able to ask through the live stream or even like offline events. While going through them, also like throwing the use cases every now and then. You can build this, you can build this. Also like building a use cases on our own. Similarly, how we build Last Boo Boo. This is a project that is built by our own team itself to highlight the tech. And when we continue doing this, we attract the developers who are looking for a certain tech that is missing for their own project or their own use cases. I can use this DATs. So where we have to find those specific developer communities, developers or projects, and then offer them support and onboard them. This is like a very specific strategy. And in a generalized strategy like host workshops, and this is to reach more projects, more communities, and then more developers, to do like more developer centric events, so we can attract large scale developers. And then from those events, the turnout would be probably who are interested in building privacy centered AI projects, or people are interested in solving the data alignment problem, so we can able to funnel them and provide them support and then help them build their project.
Yeah, so I have met a couple of really interesting DevRel. They love what they do. They love to bring the developers in. And then most of the DevRel I met, they were developers themselves before. And then they're like, oh, I actually like to do DevRel. And then like move into the space. And speaking about building for ecosystem, building for projects, we're both like, I love Ethereum. I think we're both big Ethereum fan here. I want to know what's your take on building in Ethereum ecosystem. What is working and what it's still frustrating for you to build?
Yeah, so Ethereum has been like fixing a lot, which were been like frustrating issues previously, especially with the recent the Ethereum Foundation reorganization and a lot of new teams being introduced. So when you have specific teams within a organization like Ethereum Foundation, it provides
Yeah,
specific support for those kind of builders. For example, there's a privacy team and there's different teams. So it enables different tools coming up, different projects receiving supports, and it provides a specific support for each and every area. And they don't have team for everything, but the current organization setup have higher chances of providing most support to the community, and as well as more support to the projects coming up. That even the guidance, which would be like very much helpful for projects, even the feedbacks, the connections,
yeah,
and everything. So these were really frustrating before. The ability to reach Ethereum Foundation would be like very difficult compared to how it is now, to get a feedback, even get any support from the Ethereum Foundation. And these were really frustrating factors, which was fixed to the
yeah.
recent turns of events.
Right. So, do you see there's a lot more people coming in and a lot more easier for the developers to build in the ecosystem now? Like it's way easier for them to learn and get onto hands to build something now.
For sure, because especially with the current AI, the LLMs, we have the different tools we have. When I started, there's none. So there was not even like cursor exist. So I had to learn stuff through videos, and then most of them don't work. I have to like go through docs, and it's like a different time. Like it would be much easier to build a dApp, and it would be a
Mhm.
lot easier even for debugging, even like learning. You can learn Solidity within a couple of days. I mean, at least intermediate level with all the AI tools we have, like GPT, Claude, and then like Cursor. And there's a lot of tools that exist that helps you to learn and build. There's no concept of vibe coding few years back. So we have to build
True.
everything on our own. So the learning curve is completely different. And now it is far easier to learn. I mean, using AI tools don't help you to learn if you just want to build. Like vibe coding don't help you to learn. But if you want to use it for learning,
Yeah.
you can actually learn very faster, and you can have an instant feedback as well. It's like having your personal tutor. So it is like really easier for sure.
But that helps you to develop the true learning skills though. Like if I found that a lot of people right now with the easy with the AI and everything, and then they are lacking of the real critical learning process and skill sometimes, or maybe they rely on AI too much and it's harder for them to actually learn something.
Yeah, that is a true drawback, but it also comes with rapid development as well. You might not know what happens, but you can actually like build like let's say a NFT marketplace within a day, or like within few hours using AI, which would take a few days if you don't use AI, and then there'll be a lot of debugging would happen. Still with AI, people actually not building a lot,
Yeah.
mostly debugging a lot. But a similar way, you
Hmm.
can do the vibe coding. As you mentioned, you might not learn a lot, but you can actually build something really cool in a short period of time.
Right, true. And then when you were back in the days grinding, learning all the docs, and then I know that you won 23 hackathons and built on different chains. What
Actually,
about Polkadot?
it's not. It's more than 23. I lost count, so say it's around like 30. So just
Oh my God. Yeah, I like that. I like that you own it. But I do know that you have built on different chains before, right? Through different
yeah.
hackathons. Yeah, that's quite impressive because I think different chains, it works in different ways as well. So what about Polkadot? Like how do developers build on Polkadot?
So Polkadot have like different like EVMs. I mean, most chains have like as you mentioned, there's like one way to do it. Is for example, let's take Ethereum or any EVM L2s have basically Solidity,
Mm-hmm.
and this chain either have a certain a technical improvement or a certain feature or like certain narratives. Some chains like have very much of a DeFi narratives and just different narratives of the EVMs. But when we look at non-EVM L2s or non-EVM layer ones as well, for example, Aptos or Starknet, they have different language. Aptos have Mu and Starknet have Kaido, which is like Rust-inspired programming language. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like one way to do it. Uh, like Polkadot have multiple like streams for a developer. You can still use
Yeah.
Solidity in some manner. You can use Ink, and there is also some TypeScript support. There's like a lot of ways where you can able to build, and like I haven't had a chance to like build a full project or full smart contracts
It's
on
okay.
Polkadot. But like when I look at it, and then I have friends working in Polkadot. I also like met a
Yeah.
lot of them, a lot of like protocol engineers in Polkadot as well during DevConnect. So they are building something
Mm-hmm.
really cool with new like relayer systems and stuff.
True. Definitely, Polkadot have such a strong community. They like always like pushing forward to. They have weekly community calls, and then they're pushing forward to get the ecosystem bigger, and which is like quite impressive. Like I do like your opinions about sharing from the developer side of the like, point of view. Coming from this, I do want to know, like for anyone that's listening right now, for them to want to becoming a developer in the Web3 now, like what's your advice?
So I would advise them to learn the fundamentals because the fundamentals help them to go a long way. Even with all the current tools exist, just like ability to read the docs help them a long way because there will be new protocols coming up every now and then. I mean, there was no X4 not two like a month or two ago. So now we have like bunch of X4 not two protocols, bunch of SDKs that is currently live now. So in order to be as a developer in Web3 space, one ability required is able to learn and evolve. So it starts
Mm-hmm.
with reading and understanding docs and able to implement it and able to understand the SDKs, understand like the code, able to like recreate a transaction, able to like recreate a specific backend flow. The first thing would be like learning the fundamentals, and after fundamentals you can use like
Mm-hmm.
any AI tools to like utilize them. You can like use them once you are like attain the like fluency within a language. You can like understand each and every script, so you can just use it. But it also like takes some time to like able to have such provenance for within any programming language. And this
Mm-hmm.
learning curve could be like improved through using AI for learning, but in a very specific way. You'll have such thoughts like, I can use AI for anything, why should I learn it? I can just use it. But
Right.
there's a certain period of time when AI hallucinate. There's like nowhere to go. So you have no
Right.
answers for those hallucinations, and then it just give you shitty code. Ability to understand the fundamentals will help you a lot. And just like
Mm-hmm.
learning full stack and Solidity and integration, that alone are really enough for building anything. And it all up to like
Mm-hmm.
having a creative
Mm-hmm.
idea and ability to deliver. So those are things only get
Mm-hmm.
into someone through practice and through consistency.
Right. Fundamentals are really like really crucial. Like I feel like whatever that you do, whatever you want to learn, fundamental can really get you grounded and get you to understand, to expand more. And there's something just after listening to your answer, I have something just like out of curious I want to ask you, because as a DevRel, right? And then there's a lot of, because the situation right now in the industry, a lot of developers or the people, they want to kind of like drop crypto to go to AI, because kind of, they kind of want to pivot to AI only. What's your take on that? They will be like, yeah, well, I don't feel like building in crypto anymore. The market is like this. We're like, yeah. What's your take?
So the market is, of course, unpredictable, and at least not
Yeah,
very predictable for the last few months. So the pivoting to AI is kind of safe bet, I would say. But it also like there are opportunities where you can still build in Web3 with AI. So there's a lot of Web3 x AI projects, and you can able to like solve whatever the problems that AI faces, you can able to solve within the Web3 industry as well. It also like creates a internal value within the Web3 economy, and you don't have to actually pivot to AI. It is still a safe bet with everything going on, and there's this Nvidia boom, and you can solve the same. If you're passionate about solving something in AI sector, you can actually solve it here itself.
yeah,
Just like use the tech within Web3, and it also offers a lot. For example, what we are building for preserving the data privacy and solving the data alignment problem. Similar way, so
yeah.
it's not like we are pivoted, we are solving the same problem that AI industry faces, but within the Web3 industry as well.
Right, true. Yeah, a lot of projects also adding like pivot to combining Web3 and AI together. The market these days are not like, it's really like this. Other than that, for the developers' advice, and I know that you've also mentioned it, you've built communities, right? You have built a strong developer communities. What did you learn about how to build a community?
So it all comes with what kind of value we can provide. So if I want to be a part of
Mm-hmm.
something, there's always a value exchange. What I add to a community and what this community provides to me. And the what a community really
Yeah,
have to create a value for each of its participant or each of its member is first thing with education. And because when I started contributing to communities, the education part is not well established. Like courses for Web3, we have few now, but back
yeah.
then it was not. But still, there are a lot of communities that still teaches their community members. And first thing is, as I mentioned, the education. Second is guidance. So the communities can have like
Mm-hmm.
people from different tiers. There would be like someone working as a DevRel, there's some marketing people, there's someone who's a CEO, CTO of companies. And then whenever someone have any questions or any guidance required, they can able to share their value, which also creates a reputation for them as well as a value for this beginner. So this is a value exchange. And
Right,
the last thing would be opportunities. A lot of hiring happens through
right,
communities. It's more than I can comprehend, because Web3 don't have a job board. Maybe the top companies use them, but most startups
right.
uses just community. They hire through community, who are active in the community, who are answering, who are showcasing their skills and their projects, and they get noticed, and then they could get a lot of opportunities. So these are all the values a community should offer, and I've witnessed
Mm-hmm.
the community I contributed for all of them to me. The guidance opportunities include like full-time offer, and then opportunities to represent the community. So you can be volunteer, you can be a part of like events, you can get into some contacts of this protocols. All of this happen, and like it actually can
Right.
contribute to any community.
True.
So it's like really open. People are really
Yeah.
inclusive. They just like, yeah, I want to contribute. Come and join us. So this is a really a good place to be there.
True, true, true. And community is definitely super important. But I wonder, in the industry, there's a lot of DAOs. What's the difference between community and DAO? I think it could be the same, because a DAO will also feel like a community. But what's your take?
I think it all like based on the decision making. So I mean, most communities don't have
Yeah.
DAOs. It's they just wanna do some events, or some communities just focus on educations. Some communities have a certain goal to improve like a certain region, or bring in a certain class of people into Web3. So these are different goals that each communities have, and
Mm-hmm.
then some communities does include this DAO model. For example, there was a community. It's like the developer DAO. it have the DAO model and have voting, and the decision making is done through voting, then it's a DAO. And I think not every community requires a DAO, because most communities doesn't have any treasury. It doesn't require all this complicated systems to get into any final decisions. Some communities are just led by volunteers. There's no revenue over there. It's just building vibes and then building opportunities. Some of them are just self-governed, so it's not required for all of them, but some of
True.
them have, and then it's good for them.
True. I feel like a good DAO is also a really good community too. And on top of that, speaking of DAO, Nouns is definitely worth mentioning. Like shout out to Nouns. And then, what do you think about Nouns DAO? What's your
Yeah,
take?
they are building something really cool, and I had a chance to meet some people from NounsDAO as well. It's one of the few DAOs that actually worked, and then it's still active, and still people are passionate about it. So that's something you can have only if you're doing it well, and then you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like Nouns definitely has been doing a lot of cool things. It's Argentina also have cool events as well. Did you go?
No, I didn't. I didn't go to the NounsDAO event. Yeah, maybe I missed it.
Go there next time. Go to the next one. But speaking of that, I feel like we have done a lot of chat on different areas, right? And I do want to chat about something real. Also, when the market is like this, there was a lot of struggles, and many people I've talked to, the friends in the industry. Web3 is quite brutal. Honestly, it's really fast paced. It's like competitive, and you need to learn and this and that. We all have experienced that. We all been there, and we definitely have experienced like burnout as well. So what's your take on that? When you told me you've been through burnout too, like how did you get through with it? Like what's going on?
So yeah, burnout. So one way I would handle the burnout is mainly to do something I really passionate about. Every job have like different part of it. So there'll be different
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities, and I have something I really like doing it, and then I just wanna just do that, and like that really helps me get going. Even like however burnout I was, and then it creates kind of satisfaction for me, which is like solving bugs. And that is the best part of my job, I would consider. So I would just go and then solve something, and which would be really helpful for others. It creates a massive value for any developers that uses our SDK. So doing a specific part of the job which I really love doing it, so which kind of helps me to cope up with it
Mm-hmm.
if I have to continue working. Otherwise,
Yeah.
taking a break really helps.
Taking a break, yeah, that gap year story. I think that helps, even though it creates pressure, but taking a break, that does help,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and I'm pretty sure I have like OCD and also
Yeah.
ADHD. So it's kind of like if I just delay few things for some time, and then I'll just like I need the pressure to work on it, and then just like few hours before or like few minutes before the deadline, I'll just hit it.
True. I think that's not only you. I think a lot of people have that type of thing, procrastination. But then still like, okay, need to get it done. I really appreciate what you shared about the whole real journey and then your take on different things in the industry as well. Is there anything before we end up the live stream that you want to share?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I want to share something. So first thing is the whatever I've
Yeah.
gone through, like during the tweet that went
Mm-hmm.
viral, and one thing I noticed was it's not just me. There were like a lot of people had a similar
Yeah.
similar journey. Then some of them deleted their tweet. Some of them had horrible DMs. I felt like I had it better because I met this girl and she showed her
Mm-hmm.
DMs, and that is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I received like bunch of like
Really?
racist
Like what
comments,
was
but like
on there? Do you mind sharing?
yeah, yeah. So it's like don't come here, like go kill yourself, and then some gifs showing like hanging a girl, and then it's really really messed up. And then at least like I think I didn't receive any DMs because of my account is affiliated to Laz AI, which kind of protected me from DMs. But a lot of people are like silently going through this horrible phase of life, and I think online with like having ability to be an anon, it kind of provides a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people a power to just speak out of their mind and then just throw any racist comments or any horrible comments on anyone. But one thing I would say, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
happens, we have to push through. It will be easier to say than doing it, but it's like
Yeah.
if like somebody can just like stop our progress just through like a horrible DM or like a comment, like it would be like really difficult for us to push forward. We have to like kind of neglect it, or like whatever happens, we have to like still keep moving forward. Just like my tweet got viral, but a lot of people deleted it or still going through it, and a lot of people still receiving horrible comments. I just saw someone posted it something like having opening an
Yeah.
internship in Japan, and then they just getting horrible comments as well. Like the hatred is being very normalized, especially with Twitter and social media. It doesn't like have to stay that way, and people are really nice, and this like having ability to be anon and then having ability to speak anything online, it kind of like attracted a lot of negativity. We don't have any platform to moderate it currently, and then Twitter loves this drama, so it can have a lot of impressions, and it is good for their platform. But so this is something I wanted to share, and because my tweet got viral, and because I got a lot of support
Yeah.
because of that, but others also going through it, and then a lot of them couldn't even share it because it's too horrible to share.
I got you. Thank you for sharing for them. It's really good that you are sharing the real situation. I hope whoever that's experiencing what you have experienced, that they felt the support. There's still a lot more people. Even the Ethereum Foundation is like standing up for you. I'm definitely believe that a lot more people, it's more positive and supportive instead of like throwing all those hate. And all those people who are sending those really bad messages, they themselves, if you want to tell them, I want to interview you, if I go to talk to them, hey, you send this horrible messages to these people, like, I want to know your story. I don't think they're that brave to share in some sense. So let's just forget about all those things and just, yeah. I appreciate you
Yeah,
sharing for them
exactly.
too, and I appreciate you sharing all. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing the stories today and the whole take. We had a really nice chat. Thank you, Thiru, and until next time, let's chat again. Have a good
For
day.
sure. Have a good day. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.